Welcome back. Keith Hilly has rejoined us once again after having a week's spell, and we're going to talk racing and start off with the St Leger Stakes at Flemington on Thursday. Keith, Shiva's Revenge and Grooming, they didn't beat much, but they look pretty good, don't they?
I think they're both very good horses, and we saw the Grooming form come good again yesterday at Moonee Valley when David Hayes had a winner who finished behind Grooming. They fought out the St Leger. It was a great fight, but Shiva's Revenge giving Bart another victory in the Semi-Classic, Bruce, and I think I heard you last week predict big things for Grooming, a Melbourne Cup horse. So what about the horse that beat him, Japan Cup?
You're having a go at me, Keith. You know he's got no hope in the Japan Cup. I just think that horses that can stay, they're a rarity these days. I mean, Terrific, no better than Grooming or Shiva's Revenge. The only query with Shiva's Revenge now, if he goes on and wins the Derby in Adelaide and wins the Adelaide Cup, he'll probably get too much weight.
Yes, I think they're both potentially top-class stayers. I think, you know, you're not going to be far out. It's going to be a cup horse anyway.
Tell you what, Keith, I'm pleased to see that week off has done you the world of good. You're still getting stuck into me. OK, let's go to Flemington. Thursday, St Leger Stakes. I reckon this is a pretty good one. Two good horses, and as Keith said, they had a real war together. Shiva's Revenge going for his 5th straight, and Grooming.
Shiva's Revenge, the leader on the turn. Grooming loomed up on the outside, and the favourites are clear of Home Show. Then London Bridge when they turn for home. Grooming on the outside, and Shiva's Revenge from Home Show, the middle. A gap then to London Bridge. 350 metres to go on the St Leger. Here's a great go. Grooming and Shiva's Revenge, and they draw away to fight it out with Shiva's Revenge on the inside, tackled by Grooming. Grooming and Shiva's Revenge are locked together with 200 to go. Shiva's Revenge on the inside and Grooming. They're locked together now. Grooming the outside. Shiva's Revenge comes back. A neck in front of Grooming, stride for stride. Shiva's Revenge fighting back, a great staying effort, and Shiva's Revenge wins the St Leger. A neck to Grooming, 6 away, 13 his way, the filly.
Bart's 5th St Leger, he's won it with King Pedro, Lord Dudley, Vacuum, and also Shark's Fin, so they're all pretty good horses. Grooming's had 17 starts, Shiva's Revenge has had 9. I just get the feeling Shiva's Revenge hasn't had it as hard as Grooming. He may have more improvement in him. Talking about Adelaide.
Yes, the St Leger often has been a reasonably or fairly weak race in past years, but it was dominated by those two young stayers, and I think they've both got really good, exciting futures, Bruce. Well,
the horse that won the St Leger the year before, Frontier Boy, hadn't won a race since, but he did yesterday at Moonee Valley. He's also going to be looking at Adelaide Cups. David Hayes is going to have a terrific hand there, isn't he, with Water Boatman, Crusade King and this horse. Yes, what do you think of Frontier Boy?
I think, well, I think that Grooming is better than him. We saw that when they met at Sandown, but his win yesterday was very good. He got a nice cart up behind the early leader, Dendy Beach, but he won well, and he's, you know, he probably won't get a lot of weight either in the Adelaide Cup, so he's a good chance.
Now, Pressman's Choice ran in this race. He was a 5-2 favourite. Do you fancy him at 2 miles? He ran on pretty well yesterday.
He did, and he stumbled a little near the turn, and that probably cost him 2nd placing. I think it's still to be tested. He probably didn't run the distance out yesterday with that weight. So he may maybe get 2 miles, but he's not a genuine stayer, is he?
No, he's a brilliant horse. He's probably lost a bit of his dash. Let's go to the Valley. Frontier Boy, the horse in question, and Pressman's Choice. Have a look at these runs from an Adelaide Cup point of view.
About a half length to Frontier Boy, and that pair have drawn right away now from Redeemer's third, Red Foo. Pressman's Choice getting up on the inside is making ground, but the 2 leaders have got well away from them. Dendy Beach is the leader. A half length to Frontier Boy, who's now under the whip and getting almost level with Dendy Beach on the turn. 4 lengths away running on Pressman's Choice. They're followed by Redeemer's as they make the home turn. The 2 leaders under plenty of pressure, but they're well clear. Dendy Beach and Frontier Boy on the outside, goes up to hit the front with 200 to go. 2.5 lengths away is Pressman's Choice and Redeemer's down the outside, but Frontier Boy is kicked away halfway down the running, looked to have it won. Dendy Beach 2nd, then Pressman's Choice and Redeemer's, but Frontier Boy too good, and Frontier Boy came down to score nicely, about 2 lengths to Dendy Beach with Pressman's Choice 3rd.
He's a bit one-paced, I think. He's a useful horse, but I've got my doubts with the Frontier Boys, an Adelaide Cup, certainly not a Melbourne Cup horse.
Yeah, he might be just a little below the best of those that will contest the Adelaide Cup, I think.
The other interesting race yesterday, or the return for Ark Regal, who had injured himself in the Futurity Stakes. He went round in a 1,200 metre race yesterday. He's a class horse. He'd be looking at Brisbane. He didn't really fire too many shots yesterday, did he?
No, he didn't have a lot of luck in the run.
What are you saying, Ken?
And, well, it wasn't a good ride, Bruce, if you want me to be explicit. But neither did the runner-up, Plush Embassy. He was waiting for a run that never came, and maybe Plush Embassy was a trifle unlucky too.
Yeah, it was pretty short, Plush Embassy, wasn't it? About 6-4 or something like that. Good finish here, and I think it was the young boy's first win in the city.
Nash Rawilla from Bendigo. It was his first ride in the city, his first win, and his dad, Keith, did the same thing about 17 years ago, won his first ride in the city.
That's remarkable. What odds would you give me about that, Keith?
Oh, it's too late now.
Let's go to the track. Napoleon beats Lonely Dreamer in a thriller.
Arc Regal awkwardly positioned on the inside of Dancing Century, and a bit further back then Take the Prize, followed by Caradona, and last of all Washington State. Down towards the home turn, it's Sabre Star by a length and a half, Plush Embassy second, Napoleon third, followed by Lonely Dreamer, Prince Malcolm. At the head of the others then over on the outside was Naraj Gree as they make the home turn, and back behind them Arc Regal looking for a run, and very deep Take the Prize as they straighten over. Sabre Star being tackled by Lonely Dreamer, who's come with a great run down the outside, and Lonely Dreamer hit the front now from Napoleon. Plush Embassy battling on, followed by Prince Malcolm and Sabre Star, and Arc Regal well back. Lonely Dreamer, and Napoleon's kicking again on the inside. Napoleon, Lonely Dreamer, they're going to the line locked together in a real head bobber here, Napoleon or Lonely Dreamer.
Well, Napoleon got it to... Where'd you watch that one from the bar, did you?
No, I didn't. Finished third, of course, Plush Embassy, but gee, it was a tight one, wasn't it? Just getting through on the fence, Napoleon.
Yeah,
he'd been winning well at the provincials. It was a big step up for him, but he made it.
Well, and to outride Clark in a photo finish is not a bad performance, is it?
Yeah, good performance. Michael Clark's win on front of your boy took him to 1 ahead of Damien Oliver in the race for the premiership here. And Shane Dye in Sydney hit the front there. He went to the races on a level score with suspended Darren Beedman, and he rode a double, so he's 2 in front in New South Wales.
So a couple of terrific clashes going on there in the Jockeys Premiership. Brisbane, it's starting to warm up. The first of the reasonably big races yesterday, the Courier-Mail Classic worth $60,000. Wayne Harris successful on Committal, who's put together a string of victories this time in. Great finish coming up here.
They start to bunch up as they approach the corner. Country Ballet and Prince of Rory, they're the joint leaders. Boone's Break is third. Rose Road looking to get clear. She's fourth over on the rails. Committal is moving up but deep on the track. Then Starfleet Command. Royal Saga, Be Happy working into the clear, and Chimes Am down the outside. 300 metres to go. Committal sprinted to the front on the outside. Committal got away from Country Ballet and Prince of Rory. Royal Saga coming after Committal. Chimes Am, and Brunch Time is finishing brilliantly on the outside. Committal in front. Brunch Time's running him down. Committal a length in front. Brunch Time driving it in the last little bit. They hit it. No, he couldn't get there. Committal has just lasted, I think, to beat Brunch Time. In third place, Royal Saga.
Wayne Harris, the jockey there. He's won 4 out of 4 this time in, but I think the top 3-year-olds like Trisco and those horses are going to win those big races later on.
Probably, Bruce. I thought Committal, his odds were quite generous yesterday, 9 to 1, because his form was pretty good, wasn't it?
Impeccable. In fact, the first 2 horses were both last start Randwick winners, so the form was very, very good. And the form in Adelaide was pretty good yesterday. Double Gin and Water Boatman fighting out the Rain Lover Plate. This Water Boatman, he was a bit of a gay deceiver when he first arrived in Australia. He was gelded, and he's become a very honest racehorse.
Yes, he's now 7, and his form is consistent. And they, of course, quinelled the Adelaide Cup, didn't they?
Yes, last year. And a similar finish where they both had a ding-dong go all the way up the straight.
He's forever the male equivalent of a bridesmaid, isn't he, Double Gin?
He sure is. And, well, Water Boatman's going to give David Hayes a good chance of winning this Adelaide Cup again. Let's go to Cheltenham. It was a Rain Lover Plate named after that grand old horse who won a couple of Melbourne Cups and an Adelaide Cup. And it's a terrific finish here.
Double Gin leads by a length now. Water Boatman comes off the rail from behind him. This puts Razlan 3 deep on the outside. In behind those Springthor on the outside of Abada, and then Yangri on the outside of Far Removed. Double Gin hunts up again on the inside and once more clears Water Boatman by 1/2 to 3/4 as they're about to swing for home. Over on the outside Razlan, and down on the inside Abana. Just behind them Springthor's got a split as Razlan shifted ground under pressure. Further back behind them Yangri and Far Removed. Water Boatman's out after Double Gin now, and down to the 200-metre mark, gets on terms. In behind them, Springthor, Double Gin whacking away on the inside, and Water Boatman, and then Springthor. Springthor coming after Water Boatman, who's got his head in front of Double Gin. He'll run second again. Water Boatman, the outside, just in front, just wins from Double Gin. Third, Springthor.
Nothing much, and he's won $670,000, that horse, for Sheikh Mohammed. It would have been he'd be pretty pleased that he's come to Australia and run for the big prize money.
Yes, he's a good horse, and he's got a good chance of back-to-back wins in the Adelaide Cup, Bruce.
He was second in the Caulfield Cup to Siddiston last year, and at one stage was going to be the big Melbourne Cup hope for the Hayes stable.
Yeah. Talking about racing action, this week, of course, it's back to the Bull, the Warrnambool Grand Annual, 5,500 metres, longest race in Australia, 33 fences, more obstacles than any other in the world. It's a tough race, and it's a tough week for those of us going down. I'll be going down tomorrow because you've got to get down early and train.
I know. You don't feel you're too fresh, Keith, having that week off. You're not worried that you haven't done the preparation?
Race best when fresh. All
right, so Warrnambool, you're going down there, and we'll have the Grand Annual and the Cup on next Sunday. We're just going to talk harness racing for a moment. Jack Newton, our old mate who Keith wanted scratched a couple of weeks ago from the racing set, when he had a horse in the New South Wales Pacers Derby on Friday night, ran 4th catch the action. The horse that won the race was Dark Paul. He won the Victoria Derby earlier this year, upset Ted Demler on Impressionist. Last Friday night he upset Ted Demler on Bowral Boy. Ted normally drives Dark Paul, so he would have been spitting chips after the race. Let's go to the last 3/4 of a lap of the Derby from Sydney.
Down the back and Corral the Jet in front. He's about to get clear now on Barrel Boy, I feel. Second is Dark Paul. Barrel Boy shuttered back in by Starship. Supremacy gets up on the inside. They go to the 300 now. He's swinging to Dark Paul as it goes up on the outside of Corral the Jet. Barrel Boy still can't get clear. Starship keeping him in their pocket as they come to the corner. The driver on Dark Paul is supremely confident. He goes to the lead and goes for home. Barrel Boy's into the clear now. Dark Paul's in front. Here comes Barrel Boy. Barrel Boy coming in after Dark Paul. Dark Paul still in front. Barrel Boy getting to him with every stride. Dark Paul, Barrel Boy, Dark Paul. Dark Paul has won ahead, Barrel Boy. Third, Supremacy.
Yes, he's won 13 out of 25 races. There's a big race yesterday in Perth with the Derby.
Yes, the WA Derby, and for the first time in 27 years, Bruce, it was won by a filly, Mirror Magic.
Gee, you're good on the stats today, Keith. Listen, if you've got a tip for Warrnambool, I'll leave you my phone number during the week.
No, not yet, Bruce, but I'll be in touch.
Good idea. Keith Hillier with all the good oil. We take a break, back with more after this.